Hey, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like someone is trying to convince you they've moved on, but their actions tell a completely different story? It's like they're wearing a mask saying, "I'm over it," but every now and then you catch a glimpse of what's underneath. Confusion creeps in, and you can't help but wonder, are they truly over you, or are they just trying to convince themselves? Breakups are messy, and emotions don't follow a clean-cut timeline. Sure, they might post pictures with friends, act indifferent when they see you, or even pretend you never existed, but there's always more beneath the surface. You see, human behavior is like a puzzle. The pieces might look scattered, but when you put them together, they reveal the truth. Let me take you back for a moment. Think about how they used to look at you, the little inside jokes only you two shared, the way they'd light up just being around you. Now, imagine trying to erase all of that as if it never happened. It's not that easy, is it? Even for the ones who claim they've moved on, those emotions don't just disappear. They linger, sometimes in subtle actions, sometimes in ways they don't even realize themselves. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But here's the catch. When someone hasn't fully let go, their mind betrays them. Their words might say one thing, but their actions tell another story. Today, we're peeling back the layers to reveal the 7 undeniable signs they're not over you. These aren't wild guesses or wishful thinking. They're grounded in real human psychology, behaviors people can't help but show when their hearts are still tied to the past. This isn't about clinging to false hope or getting stuck in the past yourself. It's about understanding what's really going on so you can find the clarity you deserve. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I value myself enough to see the truth clearly. So, are you ready to uncover the signs and decode their true feelings? Let's dive in together. Sign 1. They keep tabs on your life. You upload a photo, share a story, or even just change your profile picture. Within moments, they've viewed it. Maybe they've liked it, left a comment, or simply stayed silent while consistently watching from the shadows. It might feel like a coincidence at first, but then you start noticing a pattern. They're still there, quietly observing your life unfold. In today's digital world, keeping tabs on someone has never been easier. A simple scroll or tap can keep them connected to you without the awkwardness of direct communication. But let's dive deeper. Why do they do it? Because while their lips might say, "I've moved on," their actions tell a different story. Watching your life online, even passively, is a way of staying tethered to you. It's a breadcrumb trail of unresolved emotions, a way of keeping that invisible string between you alive. Think about it. If someone has truly moved on, they wouldn't feel the need to constantly check in on you, even from a distance. This behavior is rooted in lingering feelings, whether it's regret, nostalgia, or even curiosity. They might want to know if you're thriving, if you're seeing someone new, or simply how you're doing without them. But here's the nuance. They may not even fully realize they're doing it. Sometimes, it's not a conscious choice, but a reflex driven by unresolved emotions. They tap on your profile out of habit, scroll through your feed without thinking, and watch your stories because, deep down, they're still emotionally invested. It's as if they're looking for a sign, something that validates their own feelings or fills the void left by your absence. You might feel conflicted about this. Part of you might wonder if they're trying to rekindle something, while another part knows it's just their way of coping. The truth is, this behavior isn't necessarily about you. It's about them and their struggle to let go of the connection you once shared. But here's where you take back your power. You don't need to react. You don't need to confront them or even acknowledge their presence in the digital corners of your life. What you can do is protect your peace. If it feels like they're intruding on your space, set boundaries, mute them, limit your posts, or take a social media break if needed. Remember, your life isn't a performance for someone who couldn't commit to it fully. You're not here to provide closure for them. Have you ever experienced this kind of lingering presence online? Share your thoughts in the comments and drop this affirmation: my life is mine to live, free of anyone else's lingering gaze. Sign 2. They bring up old memories. You get a text out of nowhere, or you happen to cross paths, and instead of asking how you're doing now, they bring up something from the past, like the time you laughed until you cried during that road trip, or the restaurant you both discovered and swore was your spot. It's almost as if they're trying to transport you back to a different time, a happier one. But why? It's not just nostalgia. When they bring up old memories, it's their way of reaching out without fully confronting their feelings. Those shared moments were once a source of joy and connection, and revisiting them offers a sense of comfort, even if things between you are no longer the same. In their mind, bringing up the past might rekindle the bond or remind you of what you had together. For them, the past feels safe. It's predictable, unlike the uncertainty of the present or the unknown of the future. Talking about those moments isn't just about you. It's about them trying to hold on to the version of life where they felt secure and understood. Reliving these memories might help them avoid the harder truth, that things have changed and can't go back to the way they were. But here's the catch. While they're clinging to these fragments of the past, they're not truly engaging with you as the person you are today. It's like flipping through an old photo album and pretending the pictures still capture reality. The past may be beautiful, but it's not where you live anymore. This behavior can leave you feeling conflicted. Part of you might smile at the memory and wonder if they miss you. Another part may feel weighed down, as if they're pulling you into a time that no longer serves your growth. It's natural to cherish the good times, but ask yourself this: do you want to remain tied to a version of yourself you've outgrown? It's okay to acknowledge the past, but you don't have to live there. Be kind but firm. Let them know you appreciate the memories, but you're focused on your future now. And if they can't join you in the present, it's a sign that their journey is no longer aligned with yours. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I honor my past, but I choose to live fully in the present. What about you? Have you experienced someone who keeps pulling you back to old memories? Share your story below. Sign 3. They overreact to your new relationships. Imagine this: you've moved on, or at least you're trying to. You post a photo with a new friend or partner, and suddenly they're acting off. Maybe they're overly curious about the person you're seeing, asking subtle but pointed questions like, "So who's that?" Or worse, they dismiss the new person entirely, throwing out comments like, "They're not your type," or "You can do better." But here's the thing: their reaction isn't coming from a place of genuine disinterest. It's fueled by an emotional undercurrent they can't quite control. Even if they've told you they're over you, their behavior betrays them. They're not reacting to your new relationship. They're reacting to the idea of losing their place in your life. This kind of overreaction often stems from insecurity. Seeing you with someone else forces them to confront the reality that they're no longer the center of your attention. It's a painful reminder that life moves forward even when emotions linger. Their jealousy or irritation isn't about you. It's about them grappling with the fear of being replaced or forgotten. Even silence can be telling. If they suddenly go quiet or withdraw after discovering you're seeing someone new, that's their way of processing the emotions they're too proud or scared to express. It's not indifference, it's avoidance. Now let's talk about the subtler signs. Maybe they don't lash out or interrogate you, but their demeanor shifts. They start dropping passive-aggressive comments or suddenly show up in your social circles more than usual. These actions aren't random. They're often attempts to remind you of their presence, even as you're trying to move on. Here's the hard truth. Their feelings are not your responsibility. You've chosen to take steps toward your happiness, and you deserve to do so without guilt. Their overreaction is a reflection of their unresolved emotions, not a reflection of your actions or choices. So, how should you handle it? With grace and boundaries. Acknowledge their feelings if it feels appropriate, but don't let their reaction dictate your choices. Your life is yours to build, and their discomfort is something they need to work through on their own. If this resonates, drop an affirmation in the comments. I am allowed to grow and create new connections, free from guilt or judgment. And tell me, have you ever experienced this kind of overreaction from someone in your past? How did you handle it? Share your story below. Sign 4. They make excuses to see you. It starts subtly. They message you saying, "Hey, I just found that book you lent me ages ago. Should I drop it off?" Or maybe they show up at your favorite cafe, claiming it's a coincidence. At first glance, these moments seem harmless, but when they happen repeatedly, they reveal something deeper. These aren't mere accidents. They're deliberate attempts to stay connected. Whether consciously or not, they're seeking proximity, hoping to revive a spark or keep the door to your relationship slightly ajar. It's not about the book or the cafe. It's about creating a reason to see you, even if it's cloaked in casualness. Let's talk about the psychology behind this. When someone isn't fully over you, the thought of total separation feels overwhelming. So instead of addressing their emotions directly, they take the safe route, inventing reasons to cross your path. It's less vulnerable than admitting, "I miss you," but the intent is the same. And here's the tricky part. They might not even realize they're doing it. Human behavior is often driven by unconscious desires, especially when emotions are involved. They may genuinely believe they're reaching out for practical reasons, but deep down, it's their heart, not their logic, steering the wheel. Now, consider how these encounters make you feel. Do they stir up old emotions? Do they make you question if they're over you, or even if you're over them? That's part of the intent. By staying in your orbit, they're keeping themselves on your mind, blurring the lines between closure and reconnection. But here's what you need to remember. You don't owe them access to your life. If these coincidences feel intrusive or emotionally draining, it's okay to set boundaries. Your peace is worth more than their unresolved feelings. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever experienced this? Did it pull you back into old patterns, or did you recognize it for what it was and move forward? Drop a comment below. I protect my peace by recognizing what truly serves me. Your journey is about you now, not about who's trying to linger in your shadow. Keep stepping forward, even if it means leaving others behind. You deserve a future free from unnecessary complications. Sign 5. They compare others to you. You hear it in passing, maybe from a mutual friend or even directly from them. They're with someone new, but their words linger on you. "No one makes me laugh like you did," or perhaps, "They don't understand me the way you did." These comparisons aren't casual, they're deeply revealing. When someone repeatedly measures others against you, It's a sign they're still emotionally tethered to the relationship you shared. They might not say it outright, but their words betray their feelings. By drawing these comparisons, they're keeping you alive in their thoughts, trying to hold on to the bond you once shared. But here's the catch. These comparisons can feel flattering at first, almost as if they're acknowledging the special connection you had. Yet, over time, they can start to weigh on you. It's not your responsibility to remain the benchmark for their future relationships. You are not a reference point. You're a person with your own journey to focus on. Psychologically, this behavior stems from an inability to let go fully. By highlighting the unique qualities you brought into their life, they're creating a narrative where no one else measures up. It's less about the other person and more about their struggle to accept that things are over. Comparing others to you becomes their way of keeping you emotionally close, even when they're trying to move forward. And yet, these comparisons often come from a place of fear. Fear of truly letting go, fear of facing the unknown, and fear of never finding something as meaningful again. But here's the truth. Their inability to move on doesn't define your worth. You don't need to live under the shadow of their unresolved emotions. If you've experienced this, take a moment to reflect. How did it make you feel? Did it pull you back into old patterns, or did you recognize it for what it was? A reflection of their struggles, not yours. Drop a comment below. I am not a comparison. I am a person moving forward. You don't need to carry the emotional baggage of their past while you're building your future. Release yourself from being the standard they measure others by. Your life is your own, and you deserve relationships that focus on the present, not ones that keep revisiting the past. Sign 6. Their emotions are all over the place. One moment, they're cold and distant, acting as if you never mattered. The next, they're sending you a heartfelt message or reminiscing about the good times. It's confusing, isn't it? This emotional roller coaster isn't just frustrating, it's revealing. When someone's emotions swing wildly like this, it's a clear sign they're struggling internally. They're caught between two worlds, the one where they convince themselves they've moved on, and the one where their heart refuses to let go. This push and pull behavior often reflects unresolved feelings they're unwilling or unable to face. Imagine their inner dialogue. I'm fine, I don't need them anymore. Yet a song, a memory, or even the thought of you can flood them with emotions they weren't prepared for. This conflict manifests in their erratic behavior. One day they're dismissive, trying to assert their independence. The next, they're soft and warm, almost as if they're testing the waters to see if there's still a connection. This unpredictability isn't just about you. It's about their struggle with loss and change. They're torn between the comfort of the past and the uncertainty of the future. Acting cold might be their way of protecting themselves, while moments of nostalgia show they're not as detached as they'd like to believe. But let's be real, this behavior can take a toll on you. It's emotionally draining to deal with someone who oscillates between pushing you away and pulling you back in. You might find yourself questioning their intentions, your own emotions, and even the relationship itself. So, how do you handle it? Start by setting boundaries. You can't control their emotions, but you can control how much space you allow their inconsistency to occupy in your life. Acknowledge their struggle, but don't let it derail your journey toward healing and growth. Have you ever been in this situation? Did their unpredictability make you second-guess your decisions? Share your story in the comments below. It might just help someone else feel less alone in navigating the same experience. And remember this: you're not responsible for their emotional swings. Their journey is their own to navigate, just as yours is yours. Let them face their inner turmoil while you focus on finding peace and clarity within yourself. Sign 7. They reach out during vulnerable moments. It's late at night. Your phone buzzes, and there it is, a message from them. Maybe it's a simple "hey," or perhaps it's a more heartfelt note about how they've been thinking of you. You notice a pattern. They only reach out during emotionally charged times, holidays, birthdays, or moments when life feels heavy for them. Why do they do this? Because in their moments of vulnerability, they instinctively seek comfort from the one person who once felt like home, you. It's not just about needing someone, it's about needing you. You represented stability, understanding, and a deep emotional connection, and when they feel unsteady, their thoughts naturally drift back to that. These messages aren't always calculated. Often they're spontaneous, a reaction to loneliness, nostalgia, or even regret. It's during these moments of emotional openness that their true feelings bubble to the surface. They're not just reaching out to pass the time. They're reaching out because they miss the sense of belonging they once had with you. But here's the other side of the coin. While it might feel good to know they still think of you, you have to ask yourself, what does this do to me? Their vulnerability doesn't mean you're obligated to step back into a role that drains you emotionally. Sometimes people reach out, not because they're ready to reconnect in a healthy way, but because they need a temporary bandage for their own pain. Responding or not responding is entirely your choice. If you do reply, it's okay to set boundaries. You can show compassion without compromising your peace. A simple acknowledgement like, "I hope you're doing okay," can be enough without reopening wounds you've worked hard to heal. Have you experienced this before? Maybe an ex reached out during a lonely holiday, or they texted you on a random night just to say they were thinking of you. How did you handle it? Did it bring you closer, or did it leave you feeling unsettled? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might resonate with someone else navigating the same situation. And remember, you don't have to be their emotional lifeline. It's okay to prioritize your own healing, even if that means stepping away from their moments of vulnerability. Friends, recognizing these signs isn't about giving them false hope or reopening old wounds. It's about understanding human emotions and setting healthy boundaries. If you notice these signs in your own life, it's important to take a step back and ask yourself, is this behavior healthy for me? Am I ready to move forward, or am I still emotionally tied to this person? And remember, if you realize someone's struggling to let go, it's not your responsibility to fix them. Your priority should always be your own growth and healing. I know some of you might have experienced these signs firsthand. Share your stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you navigated it. And before you go, hit that like button, share this video with a friend who might need it, and subscribe for more relationship insights. You deserve to understand your emotions and create healthy boundaries, and I'm here to help you on that journey. See you next time, and take care of yourselves.